We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
Y'all, buckle up because this one is wild. Tyler Perry, yes, that Tyler Perry, the billionaire mogul known for transforming Hollywood and building one of the biggest studios in the world, is now knee-deep in a scandal so messy it might just rewrite everything you thought you knew about him. Word on the street is he's being sued for a jaw-dropping $260 million, 0 cents. And the reason? Allegedly making moves on a young white actor. But here's where it gets even juicier. Katt Williams already warned us. That's right, the no-filter truth spitter, Katt Williams, tried to tell us that not everything that glitters in Hollywood is gold, especially not when it comes wrapped in the label of Black excellence. According to Katt, that label has been weaponized to protect people like Perry, people who allegedly prey on the vulnerable while smiling for cameras and cashing billion-dollar checks. And now, that white boy casting couch rumor, it ain't just a rumor anymore. See, Tyler Perry's rise from homelessness to billionaire status has always been painted as a fairy tale. And maybe it was. But Katt's been saying for years, that fairy tale had some real dark magic behind it. From the roles he casts to the opportunities he gives, it's never just about the talent. It's about control, manipulation, and maybe even exploitation. Katt's not afraid to say it either. He's been dropping breadcrumbs talking about how Black men in Hollywood are only allowed to rise if they sacrifice their dignity. And guess whose name he keeps putting at the top of that list? You guessed it, Tyler Perry.
Clearly.
Now, before anyone says Katt's just hating, he made it clear he's got nothing personal against Tyler. He even admitted the man works hard. But then came the mic drop. Katt called Tyler out, said flat out that the man's a drag queen behind closed doors who uses his power and position to take advantage of young men. And baby, that was not a joke. That was Katt screaming from the rooftops, telling us exactly how Perry allegedly operates behind the scenes. Those roles, the ones that shoot actors into stardom, Katt says they come at a price. And it's not just Katt saying it. Oh no, the receipts are stacking. Actor and voice coach Brandon Jay added his own shocking tale. He was cast in Meet the Browns as a regular high school teen. Innocent enough, right? Then out of nowhere, Tyler flipped the script. Literally. The character became a gay teen with a crush on his bully, a role Brandon never auditioned for. Let that sink in. A young actor comes in to play one part and suddenly finds himself rebranded with a whole new identity, and a very calculated one at that. Why? That's what everyone's asking. But when you connect the dots, the pattern starts to emerge. And it's disturbing.
Here's a story time about how filming Meet the Browns was the most stressful and hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I had no idea that Tyler Perry's studio schedule was so drastic. If you're working on a regular network show, they take a whole week to film an episode. Tyler Perry Studios, they film an episode in 1 day. The character was Jeffrey, a fat high school teenager who was very intellectual, who was getting bullied at school. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. I know all of my lines. I'm ready to go. So the director, who is Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he starts to block us, telling the actors where to go, where to stand. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes. So we literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry on the spot starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you. Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, you know, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully. That's not what I auditioned for.
But hold up. Because if you thought that was the bombshell, we're only getting started. Enter Derek Dixon, an actor who played Dale in The Oval. He just dropped the lawsuit of the year, suing Perry for that massive $260 million sentence. His claim? That Tyler not only crossed boundaries, but shattered them. He says the manipulation, the pressure, and the inappropriate texts were relentless. Derek's not just talking vague rumors, he brought the receipts. Specific dates, locations, screenshots. And y'all, it all started back in 2019. Tyler apparently saw Derek at an event, picked him out of the crowd like some Hollywood prince, asked for his number, and dangled the carrot. I might have a role for you. Next thing Derek knew, he was cast in Ruthless. But then came the infamous invite. Perry allegedly asked him to his Atlanta mansion in January 2020. Thinking it was a chance to bond and boost his career, Derek went, but after drinking too much, he said he ended up crashing in the guest room, and that's where things turned. According to court docs, Tyler allegedly came into that room and started touching Derek's thighs while he was half asleep. Derek says he pulled away, rejected it, but that was just the beginning. Later, Tyler gave him the role of Dale, a homeless gay store clerk who basically used sex to survive. Derek was stunned. This wasn't acting, it was mirroring. He claims Tyler told him straight up he wanted someone loyal, desperate, dependent, like the character and maybe like the man he hoped Derek would become. But Derek wasn't having it. He says Tyler kept texting him, pushing, pressing, asking about his preferences, sending messages like, "You are the rose, no straight man would walk with you unless he wanted you, and I would." Let that sit for a second. Now, Perry's team, of course, they're calling it a shakedown, classic PR move. They're saying it's all lies, all made up. But Derek? He says he felt stuck. If he pushed back too hard, he knew his shot in the industry could disappear overnight. So he tried to play it cool, responded with things like, "I'm not the sexual type," all to avoid getting blackballed. And that's exactly what Katt Williams warned us about. Hollywood's got a pattern, call it out, and suddenly, you're crazy. Let's look at what they did to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that, he lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like,
remember when Dave walked away from that $50 million 0 cents Comedy Central deal? He told us it was because he didn't want to be a puppet anymore. But what did the media do? They painted him as insane. Oprah tried to get him to admit he'd had a breakdown. But Dave wasn't broken. He was fed up. And maybe, just maybe, that $50 million 0 cents came with strings similar to the ones Tyler allegedly used to pull Derek in.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
Now, folks are asking all the wrong questions, like, why now? Why did Derek drop the lawsuit just as Tyler's new movie Straw is popping off and starring Taraji P. Henson, no less? They're calling it a cash grab, a PR sabotage. But again, Katt told us, he said, the moment you stand up to the Hollywood elites, you become the villain, even when you're the victim. Tyler laughed it off, told fans not to overthink it, but honey, the internet is thinking. And they're not laughing. And
he's got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help, some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
Derek, he's coming with everything, texts, names, receipts, and he's not alone. Actor Christian Keys also came forward, well, kinda. He never named names, but he said he once worked with someone in power who tried to control and pressure him.
This person is a predator, and he's one of several. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. The receipts, the recordings down to the police department, and let them hear this individual, the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100 grand to take my clothes off. He said, "I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked." I declined because, again, scenic route. I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. I recorded it because I didn't trust him, and I had told him over and over, and he still always tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him. I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip. You'll know right away and it'll break your heart.
So he said, I didn't say who, but let's just say when the internet played detective, all clues pointed right back to Tyler. Christian had done multiple projects with Perry, the timeline matched, the vibes matched, everything just lined up. Even 50 Cent jumped into the conversation. He posted a pic of himself with Tyler throwing a little side-eye in the caption, "Did that just say what I think he said?" Yeah, 50 was clowning, but it showed that even he couldn't ignore the noise. Fans, though, they're divided. Some say this is justice, others say it's just more drama. But one thing's for sure, Katt Williams was not lying. He said they're going to get exposed, and now the exposure has begun. But what's even more telling is the way the fans are responding now. This isn't just some isolated incident with a random actor screaming for attention. Now, this feels different. The comment sections are overflowing. People are connecting the dots, pulling receipts, digging through years of interviews and castings that once seemed normal, but now they're taking on a whole new meaning. One fan wrote, "Y'all really thought this man got all that power just by writing Medea scripts? Wake up. Hollywood don't hand out billion-dollar studios for nothing." Another added, "This ain't about attacking another black man. This is about holding someone accountable, period." And then there's the one that's been getting shared the most. "They used black excellence to protect predators, but we're not falling for it anymore." Let's not forget that Tyler Perry's entire brand has been wrapped in upliftment. He's donated millions, helped countless people, and built a massive empire on the idea of faith, strength, and redemption. But now people are wondering if all that goodwill was just smoke and mirrors, a cover for something much darker. And listen, when multiple people from totally different corners of the industry start echoing the same experiences, how can you keep calling it a coincidence? Even those once afraid to speak are starting to feel braver. Whispers are turning into shouts. The mask is slipping, and what's underneath is making folks deeply uncomfortable. It's like Katt Williams kicked open the door, and now everyone else is walking through it, receipts in hand. This whole thing goes beyond Derek Dixon. It goes beyond Brandon J. It goes beyond even Tyler Perry. It's about a power structure in Hollywood that's been operating in the shadows for far too long. Actors desperate for roles, doing whatever it takes to get cast. Young men being promised stardom, only to find themselves in situations that test their dignity, their safety, and their mental health. And if they dare say no, they risk everything. Their dreams, their future, their reputations. Derek said it best, "I didn't want to be labeled as difficult, or worse, blackballed. So I stayed quiet." How many others are staying quiet right now? And that's where Katt's voice becomes even more powerful. He's been that loud, abrasive truth teller from the jump. He's the guy who gets laughed at, roasted, called crazy for saying the stuff others only dare whisper behind closed doors. But now suddenly, he's not sounding so crazy. He's sounding like the only one who was telling the truth all along. And while Tyler Perry's team continues to paint this as a setup, claiming Derek is just trying to get a payday, the people aren't buying it so easily anymore. Because this time, it's not just about one claim, it's about the pattern, the receipts, the way these stories echo each other like eerie deja vu. And the silence from Tyler? It's loud. No real statement, no apology, no effort to clarify anything, just that same old polished charm and a few laughs during press interviews, like nothing happened. But behind the scenes, oh, you know the panic is real. Legal teams scrambling, PR firms crafting talking points, and insiders whispering that more names might come forward. One insider even hinted that this case might just be the tip of the iceberg. If Derek's lawsuit actually goes to court, you better believe other people are gonna get dragged in. People with secrets, people who've been protected for too long. And that brings us back to Christian Keys. He didn't even say Tyler's name, yet the internet put two and two together like detectives with a magnifying glass. His cryptic confessions, his sudden silence, it all just adds to the pile of suspicion. Even people who once supported Tyler blindly are starting to rethink things. It's like a veil's been lifted. One user tweeted, "I used to admire Tyler, but if even half of this is true, the admiration is dead." And what about the culture this all exposes? The casting couch isn't new. It's been part of Hollywood's underbelly forever. But it's always been painted as something that only women had to deal with. Now, the truth is spilling. Men have been victims too. And the worst part, their stories get laughed off, ignored, or twisted into homophobic punchlines. But not anymore. The conversation is shifting. People are listening, they're believing, they're demanding justice not just for Derek, but for everyone who's ever felt trapped and voiceless under the weight of a powerful predator in disguise. Tyler Perry has always walked a strange line between hero and enigma. He's been celebrated for creating space for Black narratives, but he's also been criticized for perpetuating harmful tropes and stereotypes, especially about Black men. The Medea character alone, while iconic, has long been a talking point for those who believe Perry uses drag and exaggerated femininity as a way to mock rather than uplift. Katt Williams has said it repeatedly, they don't let Black men into Hollywood unless they put on a dress or act like a clown. And now people are wondering, was Katt trying to protect future actors from walking into a trap disguised as an opportunity? Because while Tyler's dressed in respectability, wealth, and awards, there's a growing chorus saying his empire might be built on exploitation. And if that's true, then this isn't just a fall from grace. This is a reckoning. It's a moment for everyone who once felt invisible. Everyone who's ever been told to play nice just to keep their place. Everyone who's been told if you speak up, your career is over. Now they're watching someone speak up, loudly, publicly, with everything to lose. And whether you believe Derek or not, whether you think Tyler's guilty or just caught in a storm, one thing is undeniable. The silence is breaking. The curtain is lifting. And Hollywood will never be able to hide behind those glossy red carpets again. Katt Williams? He might have just lit the match. And baby, this fire is spreading fast.